In this section, I'm going to show you how the procurement section works. So once you log in into your system, you go over to the procurement section, you click on new procurement requisition. So we're heading to create a new requisition. So over here, you add the title. So for example, let's say you're buying a laptop. So you can add the department and the project, if you have a project that will be assigned to this asset that you're buying. The required date, add the priority, whether it's low, medium, high, or critical. So in this case, I'll select medium. Then you can add your description over here. So let us add the item name. Yes, it falls under asset. So for components, consumables, accessories, software, and any other service, this is how you're going to label them under items. The category of the asset that you're buying. So this one will lie under computer laptop. The brand will be a HP. Let us buy 2. So the estimated unit price for one is, we go with that 5,000. And because we are buying 2, it will end up being 70,000 in total. You add your requisition description. You can add your specifications. Let's say RAM, 7 gigabytes, processor, Core i7. You can select the status, but you can leave it as draft. You can add your attachments. Then you click on create. So we're getting an error. The required date field must be a date after equal to the date we have selected, which is today. So this can only be from tomorrow onwards. Then we click on create. You'll be able to receive an alert if you had added get notifications via Telegram as well. New requisition needs your attention. So this is a notification telling me that I need to approve this requisition. So there's a pending approval because I have the right and I have the permission. So, and I'm the admin. So if I come to under procurement requisitions, under the edit, at the end we'll find these buttons: edit, approve, and reject. So I want to approve this requisition. I click on approve, click confirm. Thereafter, after it has been approved, I'll get and create a new RFQ button over here. So you can either create from this section or you can go to the RFQ section to create a request for quotation. But it is advisable that you create from this section so that it can carry with it the requisition number. So you don't have to retype it. So you just click on create RFQ, request for quotation. You see it comes with the RFQ number and from the requisition So you can add the title, laptop inquiry, the description of the laptop, if you can add them over there. The issue date, so you can select today or the day after, and the closing date, the date when this requisition will be closed. This request for quotation will be closed. So it will be on until 14th, the date that I've selected, and the expected delivery date, you can select it, let's say 15th. Then over this section, this is where you invite suppliers. So we're going to invite two suppliers. Let's go with Vivo. Okay, let me check on the suppliers list whoever we have available first of all. So we're going to select two suppliers. I have this email, Vivo and Benchmark. So let's come to our RFQs. Let's continue creating our RFQs. So you click on create RFQ. You add the title, the description as usual, the closing date. Here we get to invite our suppliers. So these two is the ones we're going to work with. You can leave the status as draft. You can add the specifications. You can add some terms and conditions. I'll leave it as blank. Now I'll add the statement over there. You can also add your attachments in case you have any. So once your file is uploaded, you click on create and the request for quotation will be created. You can see the notification says two suppliers have been invited via email. So if we go over to the requisitions, we're able to see the column of RFQ reads RFQ created, but the PO, which is the purchase order, is not yet created. If you come over to the RFQs section, the suppliers have been invited, but the bids have not yet been shared. So if we go over to the supplier's email address, so we're going to use the supplier. If we click on RFQ, we'll be presented with this email address. You can see the attachments that we added to the requisition. Then we can click on submit your bid. So this way you get to submit your bid as a supplier. You can add your unit price. So this will be our quote, the delivery time in days, and some additional notes. You can also add your supporting document as well. Then you can submit your bid. Okay. We go over to the other supplier. head over to inbox. Here we are presented with the request for quotation email, and we are going to submit our bid for this supplier as well. Let us quote it at 36,000 Kenya shillings. Few days. You can add your notes and a supporting document. You click on submit bid, and the bid has been submitted successfully by the supplier. So if we come over to the RFQs section, if we refresh this section, we're able to see under that RFQ, 2 bids have been submitted. On the bids column, we're able to see 2 bids. This one that was created on 11th of July, which was today. So if we click on view bids, we'll be taken to the bids section. Under here, we're able to see the new bids that have been shared by the 2 suppliers. So the first bid and the second bid over here. So the first supplier quoted 68,000, the second one 72,000, with the delivery timeline of 2 days and the other one 1 day, and also left some notes, and the other one did not leave some notes. So we are going to review these bids, and let us go with the supplier who quoted the least amount of money. So we are going to reject this bid. So under review, we are going to reject review notes. The status is rejected. Under the other supplier who quoted a lesser amount, we are going to shortlist them. Under the section status shortlisted, we are presented with an award supplier button. So if we click on award supplier, you can add your document as well. Then after, we can confirm. If we go an award has been created and the supplier has been notified. So that is the notification we are getting. So if we go to under awards section, the award to this supplier has been created and the status is pending. So we are waiting for the supplier to accept the award. So if we go over to the supplier's email account, there's a notification. Congratulations, your bid has been selected. So all the supplier has to do is to accept the award. The award has been accepted. If we go over to the award section in the system, we're able to see that the award has been accepted. And therefore it's time to create the purchase order. So click on create purchase order. So the PO number is created from the requisition from which the supply will be transacted from, the supplier name and the title as well, the order date and the expected delivery date. So you can change however you like it. The items, Select the item type. This is an asset, the unit price and the total. You can add your descriptions as well and any other details that you want to add. Click on create. If you go over to the list, so we're able to see the payment, the purchase order has been created. Let's go over to awards first of all. The create purchase button disappears, and if you come to purchase orders, we get our PO number over here, our purchase order over here. Status is approved, payment status done, and there's a button to send to supplier. So if we click send, the supplier will receive the purchase orders. So send to supplier. The notification says the purchase order has been sent to supplier. So if we go over to the supplier's inbox, we're getting an email notification. We will acknowledge the purchase. The supplier will acknowledge the purchase order. Once that is acknowledged, we refresh. So the status changes to acknowledged. And therefore, whenever the supplier sends the goods or brings the goods, we'll be able to receive them from this section. So this is where you receive the items that the supplier has supplied. So click on receive item. So the laptops are here, two of them. We can receive one or two at the same time. So you can receive two. Let us receive. Okay, let us receive first one. You can select the department, the project if any, but the location is mandatory. So we must add the location and the notes as well. So we are receiving one item and one will remain. And once this has been received, we're getting the message over here. We'll create a new asset record with selected category. Click on submit. One item has been received and records created. That's what the notification says. If we go over to assets, if we head over to the last asset that has been created, here is the asset that we have just received from the supplier. So there's one that is still pending. You can see even the asset target has been created automatically. So there's a pending asset that is still yet to be received. Let us receive it. Select an option. One unit remaining. One. Yes, the other item has been received. If we go over to the assets section, Over to the last asset that was created. Here is the second asset that we've received, the laptop. If we go over to our purchase orders, there's a create payment button at the end of the purchase order. So if you want to pay the supplier, we can click on create payment. You can see the payment status column reads none. You can add the invoice number, the invoice date, the payment date, and the payment terms as agreed. So the status reads fully received, payment status pending, and the create payment button has disappeared. So if we go over to supplier payments, here is the record payment that has been created. So you can be able to pay them partially or fully. So if you pay them, let's say we pay for one laptop, 34,000, select the payment method. You can add the transaction ID and the notes as well. So we paid 34,000 instead of 68. So we paid 34,000, the balance is 34 and the status is partial, and the button to record the payment is still available. You can see the invoice amount is at 68,000. If we go over to payments, this is where all payments are recorded. We're having the payment for 34,000 that has been completed. We completed the first payment. Let us add the second payment. If you click on record payment, 34,000. You can add the transaction ID under the payment method. The notes, we don't have any. And the status is updated to paid, fully paid. Balance 0, paid 68,000. If we go over to payments, you're going to get the second payment that was made to this new supplier. And also under internal payments, here you get to manage your own internal payment issues, including petty cash. So you just click on new. So the request type, you can do a cash advance, a reimbursement, a monthly bill, a petty cash, and any other. So in case maybe you're reimbursing the supplier some money, maybe they supplied less and you have to reimburse them some money, you can use this section as well. So thank you, and let's watch out for more episodes.